I'm your host, Christy Brower, and of course you are listening live here on Marvelous Mondays to 12radio.com. I am especially excited to be here with you guys today. You know, I'm pretty sure that I'm doing a pretty special show today. You know that the total solar eclipse is occurring right now, and I live in one of the at least top 10 paths of totality. How lucky am I in little tiny Idaho Falls, Idaho? We don't make the news for much, but we really are making it for something today. So I am sharing this experience with you as real and live as I possibly can. So if you want to watch this show and the total eclipse occur on it, because I am sitting in my backyard, I'm going to share it on video as it is occurring. You will also experience it with me as things go dark out here in my backyard. So if you want to do that, please go to 12radio.com and click on chat. That will take you to our Facebook group. If you are not already a member, simply ask to join. And my producer, Scott, will let you right in. And you can either just listen to the show on the 12radio.com player, or if you would like to watch it, you can watch it by clicking on the video that you will see in the chat room. I am live on Facebook Live. I have never done my show outside before. I will tell you that I have no control over sirens, which I just heard a bunch of, or people, dogs, the wind, birds, traffic, you name it. I've heard all of it while I was sitting out here setting up. So hopefully the sound will be okay. I think so far we're doing all right. But I really wanted to share this experience with you. As you know, I love doing Facebook Live. I do my show on Facebook Live every week. But usually we're sitting in my office with my pretty little peace flags behind me. Today, what you're seeing is my backyard. You're seeing trees behind me in my backyard. As we go, I will periodically tell you what's going on with the sun. I will flip the camera around so that you can see it as well. I want you to know that it's not a very great picture. It is just a cell phone camera, but you can see it, and then I will look at it through my glasses and tell you a little bit about what you're seeing, what we're seeing as well. The totality is set to happen at 10:33 Pacific time. So right halfway through this show, you're going to find that it's going to go dark here, and I will show you. We'll watch it happen. I'll flip the camera and hold it up as that occurs. And then we're going to do a little meditation that I've developed for this eclipse. Just excited to share all of this with you. So I hope you're joining me. I see tons of you joining me on the video. If you are not able to watch the video, don't worry. It will be available in the chat room. It will also be available on my fan page and on my YouTube channel and website. So there will be lots of ways to watch it. If you're listening to this in the on-demand, or if you're listening to this in the replays later on in the week, you can get the video. So if you want to watch it, it's going to be there. So I want to tell you a little bit about my experiences recently. So I live in Idaho Falls, Idaho, which is a town of about 60,000 people. Now that may not sound very many people to you, but we're in the top 5 in population for cities in Idaho. So that tells you a little bit about the state that I live in, right? We happen to be one of the best viewing sites in the country for this solar eclipse. So our local officials have been preparing for it for over a year. There have been city council meetings, community town hall meetings, visits from Homeland Security and NASA, the Weather Channel, you name it. Anybody that really does a lot of study of astronomy and the sky and the sun has been here and is here right now. They are all over our area, camped out in our parks, camped out in well-known campgrounds, ready to view and record this eclipse. Now, why? Why does it matter so much? And this is a really good question. So I read some things on NASA's website today because I want to talk about that. We're going to talk about this from an energy standpoint, of course, because that's what I do, right? But I want to tell you a little bit about the science first. One of the things that happens when a total solar eclipse occurs is that when the moon crosses all the way in front of the sun, we can see the sun's corona. That is the ring around the sun. Now, when the corona is visible, which it isn't usually, it's very hard to study it because we all know what's it like to look at the sun, deadly. We can't do it. So it's very difficult to study the sun. And so what I've read is that NASA uses these opportunities to learn about what the sun is emitting. Is it emitting some kind of solar flare? Is there energy, magnetic energy? There are all different kinds of things that can be coming from the sun, and they can record them when a solar eclipse occurs. That's why it really matters. That's why they're all set up here, because we're a total eclipse viewing spot, so they can really see that corona. Now the crazy thing is, we're only dark for about a minute and a half. They don't get very much time, but they get enough time to really learn a lot. And so I find this very interesting. And it's just exciting to get to be a part of it. You know, the thing is, eclipses are not that uncommon. But this eclipse is viewable all the way across the United States. That hasn't happened since 1918. There have been eclipses that were visible in the U.S., since then, but they weren't visible all the way across the entire country. Everybody in the U.S. can see at least a portion of this eclipse. So that's a big deal. That doesn't happen in Northern America very often. So, they're calling this the eclipse of a lifetime if you're an American, because because everybody in the country has the chance to see it. So a lot of things have been going on here that, the eclipse apocalypse has become a term that has become quite well known in my community. There's been reports that we could have as many as 500,000 visitors to our area. We're a town of 60,000, okay? And there are several other small towns near us that are actually much smaller than Idaho Falls. That is a tremendous amount of people. Way more than we've ever had here, ever. And so one of the things that is happening is that there's been all this preparation take place, which means that grocery stores and restaurants have stocked to the hilt. When you walk down the aisles in the grocery stores right now, there are pallets of extra food and things sitting in the aisles of the grocery stores, preparing for extra people to be here. Well, somehow that translated into this sort of crazy, what we've called eclipse apocalypse fear, that we were going to run out of food, that we were going to run out of basics here in Idaho Falls. And so people have been shopping, let me tell you. The news has reported in the last few days shelves being bare of milk and eggs, bananas being out. I always am kind of weirded out by this stuff is perishable. You can't store it forever. But for whatever reason, people are feeling like they need to stock up in preparation for this in case we run out. Now, what's really happened is that people didn't really get here until yesterday or today. They're going to be here for a short period. The city is reporting that we are jammed. Every single park is full of people. The freeways are bumper to bumper, that, it's happening now. It didn't happen quite as soon as our community leaders expected. So a lot of the preparation turned out to be kind of unnecessary, but it's been pretty fun. It has really raised the hype. You can see if you're watching the video, and I know it's backwards, but I'm wearing a shirt that says the solar eclipse. We went to a fair on Saturday that was an eclipse fair, and there were shirts and everything you can imagine for sale at this eclipse fair, because everybody's taking advantage. Everybody wants to make a little buck on this, obviously. But some really crazy things have happened. Like, people have been calling, asking local city government about, supposedly, and of course this might just be an urban myth, getting permits for animal sacrifice. And if that's possible to do during the darkness of, during the totality. And so some people were saying they needed to be afraid for their pets. Kind of crazy stuff going on. I think we all needed to get a grip. A lot. But honestly, we're all pretty excited about this experience. Something is happening. We know it. The energy is really building. So I'm going to put my glasses on right now. I'm going to look up and tell you what I see. Ooh, and what I see is, I would call it... It looks like a crescent moon right now. So we're getting close. It's more than half. We're at more than half at this point. So I'm going to flip my camera around. I'm just going to hold my camera up and flip it around so that you can see. And all you can see really is the sun. You can't really see how covered it is, unfortunately, with my camera on my phone. You can see that it is not a full circle, though. And I think you'll be able to see more as we go, as it gets... as we get closer, but I will narrate as well because I really wanted to share this with you. I'm pretty excited about this experience. Okay, so we're going to flip the camera back. Here we are, back on me. So I want to talk about the energy of this eclipse. I don't know about you, but I feel pressure rising. I feel pressure rising around me. I see pressured events happening, right? There's clashing. There's a building towards something going on around us. Sometimes it's happening inside of us. Internally, we may be preparing for some kind of change or shift on our own. I think we're seeing it happen in our communities. I think we're seeing it on a global level and on a national level, that we're coming to one of those periods in our history when something big is about to break open. That has happened many times before. This is, of course, not the only time. I can think of several times in the last few years when that has occurred. So what does that mean for us? What do we do with that? Well, something that I know that is true about eclipses is that they bring what is in darkness into light. Because we're sort of flipping, right? We're flipping. We're turning the lights off in the middle of the day. We're doing the opposite of what we normally do. Now that changes the way that we look at things. So I think for us as individuals, it's very important for us to really consider what is coming to light, what truth is coming forward for us that maybe has been hidden for a while. I know that I am feeling it in many different ways. Sometimes this experience can be shocking. Sometimes the truth of a situation comes forward in a way that you never would have expected or that you did not predict to happen. Sometimes it happens to us individually. Sometimes it happens on a bigger level. I want to say that I think that it's happening in regards to supremism happening right now in our country. The idea that one particular race is better than another, that one particular gender is better than another. Any of those, one group is better than another. I think that not that we thought that it was gone, not that we thought that those things were not happening, but I think that we didn't know quite how deep those issues still run until this last 6 months. We've seen a significant resurgence in a lack of fear in showing that belief and even putting it forward and using violence to do that. We saw it in Charlottesville. We've seen it in many other places in many other ways. That idea that if I am a certain color, if I am of a certain racial background, if I am a certain gender, I'm better than other people. That is coming to light again. And I just want to say again, because I know that it's not that we forgot about this. We didn't forget. But we didn't realize how ugly it still is. It's a good thing when it happens. It can be painful. It can be scary. But when I saw those Nazis marching without a sheet over their faces, they were so emboldened that they didn't hide, right? They brought what was in the darkness out into the light, and that was their faces. To me, that's progress because, number one, we know who they are now. They can't hide from us. They can't be a hidden force that is damaging us as humanity if we don't know who they are. Now we know. It also really brought it to the forefront to all of us that this is real. There are actual real Nazis right here in America. That's still happening. Now, I have to tell you that I knew that because I live in Idaho. And Idaho, unfortunately, is well known for Nazis. Mostly northern Idaho, not so much southeastern. But we do have a problem here. Ruby Ridge occurred here. You might know about that. So I've known that was around, and occasionally, Nazi propaganda gets disseminated in my community. So I'm aware of it. But to see it on such a more global level, I think that we have to recognize what that means and what we do about it. We have to know that it's real. This is an opportunity to recognize that something that we thought maybe was long dead isn't. It's reared its ugly head. It means it's our job to do something about it. Now, what if we're not talking about a global issue? What if we're talking about a personal issue? What if this is something that you thought, for example, that you had already dealt with? Maybe you have something in your life, an emotional issue, maybe a painful issue that's happened in the past, maybe something that's hurtful that has occurred. Maybe you thought you were done with it, and now you know you're not. Something's come back. This is your opportunity to resolve it again. This is your opportunity to look at it again. That's what we do with eclipses, right? This is our chance. I've seen the image of an iceberg flipping, that's what an eclipse is. What's under the water, what we can't see, is now in the forefront. How do we address it if we don't know it's there? I think this comes very much at an important time for looking at our internal beliefs. We have a lot of beliefs that are, I would say, hidden. They are unconscious beliefs. They're the beliefs that we developed in childhood, early childhood, like 0 to 3 years old. They are the kinds of things that we developed when we were just sponges. We didn't choose them. We simply absorbed them from around us. They may have just been words spoken by other people that we picked up and took on. What is it in that darkness of those beliefs that we can flip and see in the light in order to let them go? What is it that might be holding you back? What is it that might be limiting you that is now in the light? I've been doing some belief work with clients lately, and finding that this is a really good opportunity for a time to address that. When the totality comes, we're going to do a little meditation where we're actually going to pick something that we want to drop from us, that we want to let go from us before the sun comes back. So we're going to start it right before the totality. We'll end it as the totality ends and as the sun begins to come back. We have a chance to be reborn today. That's one of the beliefs around the eclipse. Now, eclipses sometimes have been seen as a fearful thing, as a thing to be afraid of, that the world is ending. What if the sun doesn't come back? And yet it always does. It's sort of like when we go to bed at night and the sun goes down and then it comes back up the next day. This is another opportunity for us to look at it from that standpoint. How can we be reborn today? What can you release that maybe you don't want to carry forward in your life anymore? What can you drop today? So we're going to do that meditation together here in just a few minutes. I'm going to take a little check. I'm on Eclipse Watch, so I'm going to look up and see. Oh boy, okay, so we are at probably, it looks like quarter of a moon stage at this point. It's a small sliver left. I'm going to see, let's flip the camera and see. I'm not sure how much of it you'll be able to see, but let's try. I'm going to hold this up. And you still can just kind of see a ball. Unfortunately, you don't really see it all that much, but I will tell you that it looks like a quarter moon. Okay, so we're going to come back. And several of you in the chat are expressing what you're experiencing. So I thought this was interesting. Some of you are hearing lots of dogs barking. You're hearing birds chirping. Julie Aronson in the chat says, thank you for doing this, Christy. I have cloud cover here at home. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, that was a big fear here. There have been jokes around for a while now that, you know, what if all these people come to see the eclipse here and it's a cloudy day and you can't even see it. Not true. It is an absolutely beautiful, sunny, blue sky day, as you can see behind me. Let's see here. I wanted to see that Linda's hearing lots and lots of birds. Christina says, there are no clouds in the sky, but it is getting darker at my house. Yes, it is getting darker. Yeah, it's going to get dark. Pamela says, can I drop a few things? Yes, you can. I'm going to create a receptacle during our meditation where you can drop things that you do not want to carry with you, that when we are reborn today and when the sun comes back, you don't carry with you anymore. Okay, so I'm going to help walk you through that, but yes, you can certainly release whatever it is that you want to let go of. Annika says, can you imagine how my mom and dad felt when they faced a real Nazi who threatened to kill her? Wish the Nazis here would realize that they can't possibly be Nazi. They are not Aryan race. Germanic, as Hitler saw it, like to tell them to wake up. Rebirth, right? That's where we are, isn't it? April says it's getting darker. I've been outside for a while and the sky was brighter blue. Now I can feel it. Yeah, I actually have a lamp sitting here so that if it gets too dark and you can't see me on the video, I can turn my lamp on so that you can see me. Christina says, can you put your glasses over the camera lens to act as a filter? Yes, that is actually exactly what I did. So there is a filter on my phone that is just, I cut off one of the camera lenses, or one of the eyeglass lenses of these solar eclipse glasses, and I taped it over the filter of my phone. Let's see. Lillian says it won't be dark here until 2:50 Eastern Standard Time. Right, because it's crossing across the United States. It started in Oregon and it's making its way. And so it's a little bit different time for each of us. Let's see. Terry says slightly cloudy but supposed to improve before the totality. Christina says she loves the idea of making a list. Yeah, now is a great time to make a list. What is it that we're going to let go of? What are we going to drop? What are we going to drop into the receptacle so that when we come back with the sun, we are reborn. We have changed. We have released things that are affecting us now that we don't want to carry on anymore. Okay, in the chat, Robbie says the energy is making me sleepy. Let's see. I had to see what some of you in the chat said. Laura says it's very magical out where she is. It is here too. It's so beautiful. It's very calm. I'm surprised it's not windy. There is kind of a joke in Idaho that one of the things that you can be 100% sure of is wind. And it's very only slightly breezy, which is really nice. Christine went through bad traffic to get home in order to watch the video. I'm so glad. Katie said she's been experiencing headaches and nausea. Yeah, you know, I've been having more body pain in the last few days. I feel like this, you know, that pressure that builds and builds and builds, and then something's going to release. Well, we're going to release it. We're going to do it on purpose on the show today. So we do it with intention. So it's not just about the energy releasing, but it is about us releasing the things that we don't want to carry anymore. Let's see. Kay in the video says it's just starting here. I'm going to see this twice. Yeah, that's what's cool. If you are, you know, further across the U.S. from me, or if you are east of me, and I'm in Idaho, so I'm at the very beginning. You know, we're only the second time basically to hit it. Let's see. And Kelly McLean's asking what time is it total here. It's already happened total there, Kelly. That's why it's traveling on to here. Let's see. Cindy says the birds are freaking out. That's interesting. Maureen's experiencing headaches. Let's see. Let's see. Monica says, watching you on the video and my TV is showing it also, just showing that it is absolutely dark. Just saw a total eclipse on TV. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, let's check where we're at here. I'm going to look up. Oh, it's getting even thinner. It's more like, I would call it an eighth of a moon size. I'm going to switch the video again so you can see, although I know you're not going to, for whatever reason, my phone corrects this into being a circle. And it will not let me zoom. I was trying to do a zoom so that you can see it better. Oh, there's a zoom. Now it is letting me zoom. It still is kind of a circle though, but it isn't. It's actually an eighth. It's kind of an eighth of a sliver. There we go. Oh, yes, Katie says it's a sun sickle. Yep, that's exactly what it looks like, is a sickle. Okay, so we're getting close. We're 10 minutes away from totality here. It's 11:23. Ooh, it's starting to cool off. I'm feeling the temperature drop. That's one thing they said, is that we could have as much as 25 degrees temperature drop, and it's around 80 degrees here today. So we could drop to 55 potentially during that time. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do in the meditation. So when we do the meditation, you know me, I do all kinds of energy work. I'm going to open up a giant vortex of light in the earth, and we're going to stand around it in a circle, all of us together. I'm not going to ask you to close your eyes, because as we do it, I'm going to hold my phone up and video so that you can see as the sun goes away. Keep your eyes open, but in your mind's eye, I'm going to ask you to stand in a circle with me and everyone listening. We're going to stand in a circle, and we're going to throw into the receptacle anything, into the vortex of white light, anything that we don't want to take with us as we are reborn today. What do you want to let go of? So maybe it's guilt, maybe it's fear, maybe it's pain, maybe it's frustration, maybe it's irritation, maybe it's limitation. For me, that's a big one for me. Limitation is what's going in the vortex of white light for me today. You guys know I've been struggling with my health for a while. Still, you know, have long-term things. I'm okay. I'm working. I'm here. I'm excited to be here. But I am very tired of being limited. Now, I'm a Sag Sun, and you know, Sag Suns are all about freedom. We don't like limitation. We don't like rules. We're not big on authority. We're not big on doing things conventionally. Obviously, I say as I'm a social worker and a professional psychic and energy healer, you know I don't like doing things conventionally. I don't like limitation. And so being sick and struggling with some of the things that I've struggled with over the last few years, I am so tired of being limited. And I fight every day to not be limited. I fight every day to do everything that I can possibly do and maintain my ability to function and to do the things that I want to do, to my freedom and my independence, right? I won't give that up for anything. I'm definitely getting rid of limitation today. That's one for me. Okay, I'm going to do a sun check. Let's put on my glasses here. Oh boy, even smaller. We're getting, it's just a very small sliver. I'm going to show you again, even though it's probably going to look like a big circle because my phone doesn't know how to know what it's looking at here. Okay, there. Oh, actually, I think you can now see it. My phone is showing it. You can see it's just a sliver. So it's going down. It's feeling chilly. It's getting darker here. We're going to experience total darkness. I'm really excited about that. This is a fantastic experience to let go of something or many things that you don't want to take with you into the rest of this day, into the rest of this life. You know, they're calling this a once-in-a-lifetime experience if you're in the United States. I think it can be a once-in-a-lifetime experience wherever you are if you use it as an opportunity to let go of something that you need to release. Now, once the totality has occurred and we do our meditation, I'll talk a little bit about what we experienced. Then I will be doing readings in the chat after. So feel free to post your questions, your requests for energy scans, readings, whatever it is that you want, because I will be doing that after. And we'll just be sitting together and experiencing as the sun returns. Now, you can probably see if you're watching the video that it is getting darker here. It is starting to, I'm experiencing some darkness, which I'm excited about. It's really cool to be out here and be experiencing it outside. So I'm excited that I was able to share that with all of you. There were some comments here in the chat I wanted to share. Lots of people having headaches. Okay, so we're talking crown chakra, guys. We're talking that energy on the top of your head. It makes your brain run. Sometimes we feel that pressure. There's this mental energy building up. There is a pressure to act, isn't there? There's a pressure to move and to speak and to be different in some way, to make a change in some way. I think that is true for all of us, and that does tend to build up in the head. So we will do, at the end of our meditation, as the sun is coming back, we're going to do a cycle of what I call energy breathing, which will ground us back to the energy of the earth. It will clear our energy bodies, clear out the crowns of our heads, and really help us to anchor back in to this beautiful energy and this opportunity that we have to be in this moment. You know, it's really fun to be a part of something historic, and this is what's happening to us today. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. We're getting darker and darker. I hope you're noticing that. It is 11:28, so we are only 5 minutes away from total darkness. Let's see. Many of you are watching at home as well. Okay, I'm going to check with my glasses. Okay, yeah, there's just a tiny, like a half circle left up there. So I'm going to show you on the video, see what my phone will see here. You can see it. It's just a tiny little half circle, just very minimal light left. It's just about to go. Wow, okay. Turn this camera back around. Let's get ready to do our meditation because this is about to happen. So in order to prepare for it, I want you to take a moment to think about some key words. Some key words that represent things that you want to release, that you want to throw into the vortex of white light and be reborn without. This is an opportunity to be reborn and let something go that is no longer in your space, that is no longer in your energy, that is something that you don't need to carry. Maybe it's a person from your past. Maybe it's an experience from your past. It's okay to have multiple things. This can definitely be more than one thing. Now it's getting really pretty dark here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I don't know. There was just a big boom. I don't know if you guys heard that. Sounded a bit like some kind of explosion. Maybe some fireworks. I'm going to show you what we're seeing here. Just a tiny little sliver. So I think at this point I'm going to keep the camera pointed at the sun. I'm just going to adjust how I'm holding on to it so that it's a little easier for me, because we're going to go total darkness here in just a few minutes. Yep, it's 11:30, so we don't have very much time. So let's join with me in meditation, okay? Feel free to keep your eyes open so you can watch as the sun disappears. But in your mind's eye, please join me as I open up a vortex of white light in the earth. This is an opening in the earth that allows us to transmute anything that we want to release into light. With it, everything that we throw there will be released from us in all directions of time. So whatever has been in our past, whatever is in our present that we do not want to be reborn with, that we want to send away as the sun leaves, and awake, refresh, awake anew as the sun returns. Please join with me as we do that. So let's stand around the circle and let's just take hands and recognize what a powerful group we are together in this moment as we experience this eclipse, as we experience the energy of all of us as a group, as the collective, as we represent, as we know, not just us individually, but as we represent all of us on this planet. All of the things that we're going to release today are things that other people will want to release today as well, right? This is one of the truths of humanity, is that we are much more the same than we are different. So as we release these things today, we ask that they be released from anyone else who is ready to let them go as well, that it's not just us, but it is all of them. So I'm going to give you a few moments as we watch the totality occur. The sun is disappearing. Please take a few moments to simply throw into the vortex of light anything that no longer serves you. As we go totally dark, the sun is about to disappear, and there we go. We're in totality, my friends. You can see it's dark, and now you can see the corona. I can see the corona. I don't know if you can on the video. I'm seeing the corona. Oh, wow. I can see the corona, but my camera cannot see it because of the filter. So as you are throwing the things that you want to release into the vortex of white light, I'm going to take the filter off my camera so that you can see the corona on the video. So please throw all of the things into the vortex of white light that you want to release. Let anything